So give yourself a hand. I think and I'm not going to go into the full story. I'm going to tell a couple stories tonight, which are kind of fun. But the way this all came about, it just was just a really crazy twist of fate. Andy Smith and Boris, and the way that all of this came about, you don't need to know the real backstory because it's kind of weird. But basically it was, can you get here tomorrow? But that's how that went down. But I think, as all of us being soccer people and loving the game the way we do, and being the coach of this team, it's kind of like parenthood. To be fair, I mean, I have 4 kids, but now I feel like I got 37. But when I first, my son, who's now 11, but this was a couple years ago, he came with me to an event, which I thought would be pretty cool. He started playing soccer like everybody else. He's 5, 6, 7. And we went to an event, and they were honoring some of the old guys. And they put us up on the thing, and I was there at the Home Depot Center with my son, and I had my arm around him. I said, wave, everybody's clapping for you. And after it was over, we went up to the suite, and he said, Dad, I want to talk to you. I said, what's up? And he goes, I don't want to play soccer. And I said, well, why don't you want to play soccer? And he said, well, I'll never be as good as you. Aww. Right? It broke my heart. I was like, buddy, that doesn't matter. You know, that's it. You just play for fun. So he played baseball, he played basketball, and I'm very proud to say the kid's back. He's playing and he loves it. So now, this is how parenthood works. This is kind of how this team works. Flash forwards, now I got my youngest daughter. It's her turn, right? First game. Blow the whistle, boom, 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 goal. Boom, 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 goal. Boom. I go, what was that? She goes, I told you I was good. So she scores 8 goals in her first game. Right? Yeah, that's for her. So now I'm kind of freaking out because I don't know how to handle this. I go up to her after the game. She's so cute. She's got her ponytails and she's, you know, drinking and she's just being a girl and it's great, you know. And I go right down and I get right in her face and I go, honey, I am so proud of you. And she goes, come here, Dad. I go, what's that, honey? And she goes, I'm going to be so much better than you ever were. That's a true story. I swear to God. I was like, all right, let's go get them. And she's still going. She's like this big, and she's still, you know, tackling people, biting you in the ankle. So I get the opportunity to be part of this organization, which I think was the greatest blessing that's ever happened to me. And I get my first week, and Captain, where's Lancaster? Where are you, buddy? So he and I meet up the night before the first game that we lost, and I'm leaving that on you, by the way. But no, in Carolina, and we had a good dinner. That was Ruth Chris. That was good, wasn't it? And we get back to Atlanta, and I called everybody, and I said, listen, I called Ricardo Montoya, who's our reserve team coach, and I said, I want everybody there. I need to meet everybody. I need to know everybody. It's going to be a long week, but this is what we're going to do. So we were in our first practice. Literally after a loss, we traveled on a Wednesday, and we were one training before we had to go to Minnesota. So we trained on Thursday. And I decided to give Matt, who's here tonight, give him an applause, please. That's Matt Horn. And I'm standing there, right? And I look over to my right, and there's this 6'5" Jamaican guy standing next to me. And I go, you must be Jabari. He goes, yes, sir. So why don't you jump out there and give Matt a break? Matt, come on. So first thing you notice about a 6'5" guy is he didn't run like a 6'5" guy. And I said, what's this guy's story? I don't know. Nobody knows. He actually scores a goal in a defensive set that you're not supposed to score in. And then I told Milton Blanco, who he just brought in, why don't you slam it in his feet a few times and see if this kid's any good? So he's got good feet. Practice is over, and we got to make decisions. We got 16 guys that are going to Minnesota. So I said, Jabari, can you meet me in the office, please? He says, yeah. All right. So I said, Jabari, what's your story? He goes, what do you mean? I go, so how long have you been with the club? I've been playing the reserves. It's okay. contract with us? Yes. Have you played for us? No. Okay, how'd you do in the reserves? I played 6 games. How many goals did you score? I scored 6 goals. And do you score them all in one game, or do you score them in every game? I scored in every game, sir. Okay. So, what are we paying you? And he said, well, not a lot of money. I said, okay, where do you live? I live 45 minutes away. I said, how do you get to practice? He goes, sometimes I don't. I said, all right, so, okay, I got it. What are you doing tomorrow? He said, well, you guys are going to Minnesota. Matt, you know this story, and you haven't heard it, the whole thing. This gets good. You guys are going to Minnesota, so I'm going to train on my own. And I said, no. Can you get to the airport? You're in the 16, and actually you're starting. Some of you know Jabari. He looks at me and goes, are you for real? This is very real, Jabari. Can you get to the airport? It's an early flight. He says, I can make it. I said, okay, see you tomorrow. You're in the team. Shake hands and walks out. We get to the airport. 10 minutes late, 15, 20, 30, 45 minutes late. Here he comes, running. The rest of the team went in through security, and I said, what's going on? And he goes, I stole the car. Hey, you know what? I stole the car. Okay, you're here though, but it's my mom's car. Well, you really didn't steal a car because you don't know my mom. Okay, just get on the plane. Let's go. So, we get on the plane, and for those of you who remember, we went to Minnesota and we beat last year's champion. Congratulations. That's our goal. 2 goal scorers are here tonight. Buff, where are you, buddy? Where are you? There he is. We can't tell the real story behind that 60-yard jog and the hug, though. 4 or 5 years from now, baby. So, Jabari was fantastic. And he had both assists, and we won 2-0. And we went back to Atlanta. And it was great. Because I remember the attitude of the team. It's the team that hadn't won a lot of games. You guys know that. But there was a different feel in the group. We had a practice, and I said, Jabari, can I see you in my office? He said, yes. Sit down. Okay. So, here's a new contract. There's a little bit more money than you were making. And we got you a hotel. We got you an apartment probably about 10 minutes away. And he goes, wow. I said, yeah. I said, because I believe in rewarding the guys. And this kid was overlooked. And I said, so here's the deal. You're going to live with Chris Clute. Do you know why you're living with Chris Clute? And he goes, because he's my boy? And I said, no, because he has a car. That's parenthood, right? I swear. And Jabari's going to be a big part of the future. And the most important thing, and if some of you don't know, and I got a couple questions from some of you about Chris Clute. Chris Clute was in our reserve team. He wasn't playing. And I'm not patting myself on the back or Brian Haynes, but it took us 5 minutes to figure out that was a player. He signed a contract and he made this club a lot of money last week. And he's now playing for the Colorado Rapids. And that is, to be fair, to the entire situation, I've never seen anybody fast stream it like this. Because I remember a guy named Eddie Pope. You guys remember Eddie Pope? Yes, sir. Chris Clute, it might be as good as Eddie Pope. Yes. That's like a Jabari meeting. Anyway, so 2 weeks ago, I got a phone call from Jurgen Klinsmann who said, who is this Chris Clute? What is he all about? Now that should tell you something. That in one game, where he was named the player of the match, the best player that they had, is the captain of the Colorado Rapids said he was the best player on the field. And he came from Atlanta. Right. Now, I will tell you this, and this is going to be a huge part of tonight and the future. This club has a massive future. Stay on board because this is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun. We went from being the last place team to being the second best team in the second half of the season. And the best part about this is we were the second leader in ticket sales. We had the second best fans. That tells you a lot. Now, to the crazy guy who hired me, who's responsible for my inclusion in this club, and I love him to death for it. Let me introduce him because, yeah, we're in second. We got a lot of seconds attached to us right now, but this is the man, myself included with your endeavors, who's going to lead this team to be in first in a lot of things. Mr. Andy Smith. Please forgive him for the mustache. I swear. Doesn't he look like he should look at you and say, "Can I see your license and registration, please?" That's all yours.
All right. Let's get a round of applause for Eric Winalda. Sorry, I'm more of a podium guy. I'll try and work in some stories. If you spend any time with Eric Winalda, you will hear some of the same stories over and over and over and over again. I've heard Jabari's story at least 7 times this week. Anyway, we're all here for the big announcement. We appreciate everyone that's come out tonight. This is a testimonial to the success of this franchise, what we've done in the past, and what we're looking to do in the future. It's an exciting time for us. I sort of canvassed the room tonight, talked to a lot of different people, and it's interesting to hear the different votes. And it's all over the map, and that's where it ended up. It was very close. So before I get into it, tonight our chairman's going to be the one making the big announcement. I'm going to thank a few people, talk a little bit about the campaign. First, I'd like to thank our ownership group, Traffic Sports, Boris Yakunica is with us tonight, and John Latham. Without their support, financially, obviously, this wouldn't be happening. None of us would be here tonight. So let's give a round of applause for our owners, I'd also like to thank the hardest working front office staff in professional sports. These guys work tireless hours. We're understaffed, underpaid, but we do what we got to do. And our guys are back there. Let's give a round of applause for the guys working hours. I'd especially like to thank a couple guys from our staff that ran this campaign, Jose Lizardo and Neil Malone. These 2 guys worked crazy hours, putting this thing together for the last 2 months. And thank you to you guys. I'd like to thank our partners over at Hope Beckham that helped us put a lot of this stuff together. We've got Bob and Tom and Heather. Heather's actually here today. Thank you, Heather. That helped us with the media and getting the word out and really getting some people behind us, so we thank them. I'd like to thank our coaching staff. As Eric alluded to, the first half of the season, before we came on board, was a rough time for Atlanta. And we made some difficult changes, and I can't believe I actually got Eric Winalda to come here. It was a cold call. Boris said, "Hey, let's hire that guy. Why not?" And I said, "All right, I'll call him." And 24 hours later, I almost had him convinced to get on the plane. It took about 3 days, but anyway, it was interesting. It was exciting. He made some crazy changes. I think in the first 2 weeks, we had 16 player personnel changes. I think the next team in this league probably had 2. I've never done more contract work in my life, but it was fun. It was exciting. And one of the biggest things that he brought to this organization was Brian Haynes. And Brian when I first talked to Eric, I was trying to talk about his plan, and I called him. I think it was like 9 o'clock West Coast time, and he's like, "I've been up since 5. I've seen just about every one of your games highlights. I'm good to go. I can fix this." He goes, "All right, I already got my guy too." I'm like, "You already got your guy?" He's like, "Brian Haynes. He's the guy." So he knew from day one. We put our trust in Eric. And then we put our trust in Brian. And Brian took some sacrifices to take some time away from his family. We appreciate everything you did to do that. And we had the best record over the last 10 games of the season, which is a testament to their leadership and the best plays that these guys did. Thank you. Thank you, Ron. And next, of course, the players, who we got some represented here tonight. Our players went through some rocky times at the beginning of the season and bought into what these two men did and got fully behind them. And it was a very successful second half of the season that we're looking forward to in 2013. And obviously, we love our players. That's why we're all coming out here to the games. So, round of applause for the players that are here tonight. On the business side, our sponsors. We got some sponsors with us tonight. We thank you for your support coming out to this event. We've got some people that are taking a look, taking a taste, see if this is something they want to do. You can tell we've got some very passionate fans. This is a great organization to be a part of. We're not only here to provide entertainment, but we're here to sell your products. We've got a ton of fans that come out to our games. Like you said, we averaged second in the league last year in attendance. Our goal is to sell every game in 2013 with the help of the people in the room. And not to mention, we've got a facility that's open year-round. That's bringing in about 750,000 people for the leagues that play at the park. So a lot of things going on the sponsorship side. Particularly, I'd like to thank Hard Rock for hosting us tonight. One of our newest partners for 2012-13. I was told to tell you to stop by. They have the Hard Rock, I think, pins, and maybe I'm butchering this, but on sale at, I think maybe on the merchandise side or on the other side somewhere. Look for them. We've got a soccer pin that I saw earlier. It's very cool. Check it out. Let's support Hard Rock tonight. The event's going to go on until 10 o'clock. Feel free to stay later. I'm sure Eric and myself and a few other people might be doing that. And finally, I'd like to thank our fans. You are the reason we're here tonight. You are the backbones of this organization. I'd like to thank our season ticket holders. Without our season ticket holders, no team in this league, obviously ourselves included, would not be a viable organization. So we appreciate your support. If you're not a season ticket holder, as I alluded to, we got our guys in the back that are going to be working hard tonight. We're ready to take your deposits, ready to get you guys signed up. Great opportunity to bring out the family, bring out your friends, be a part of these guys, the crazies in the back, the ultras, and 109 and 309. Great opportunities to do lots of things out of our games. One brief announcement. Quickly, I'd like to announce, I was told to say this, one of our newest community partners, a company called Innovative Mind Group. They're a youth sports marketing agency that focuses on bringing partnerships to schools and businesses through sports programs. IMG for short. It's already working with several youth organizations here in town. We're very happy to have a partnership in place for 2013. So thank you, IMG. All right, so moving on. Why did this happen? So one of the first questions that was asked upon us in September is why? Why did we decide, after years of being called the Silverbacks, decide to put on a contest? Should not be a contest, but Decision 2012. And the reason behind that was sort of simple. NASL, as many of you know, is a retro league. It was around in the late 60s, started 1968, and went through the 70s and into the early 80s. And there was some history here in Atlanta. A few of the franchises in our league made that switch. You saw it happen in Tampa, to the Tampa Bay Rowdies from Tampa Bay, unfortunately. You saw it happen. Miami FC became the Strikers, Fort Lauderdale Strikers. Both were, poor name. But anyway, both were part of the original NASL. And you started to think, is this a retro league? And then you saw the resurgence of the Cosmos that's going to be joining our league. That is just a very famous brand of soccer in this country and in the world. And so we started asking ourselves, is this the right move for us? And so we debated internally, and finally we came to the decision that it's not our decision. It should be the fans' choice. And so whether that's remaining the Silverbacks, whether that's switching to the Chiefs, or becoming something else, which as you know, Atlanta FC became one of that third choice. So we put it to a vote, and thousands upon thousands of votes came in. We had phenomenal success with this campaign. It gave us an opportunity to engage with our fans. It allowed us to really instigate some passion in some of our passionate fans. We had some angry fans. But at the end of the day, it was very cool. It was fun. And we're proud of what happened. We're proud that we're here tonight to announce who the winner was. I know you guys are all excited to find out. One last thing before I pass it back to Eric, who's going to bring up our last guest for us. We're going to give away a trip for two. This is one guest. One of you is going to be able to bring, maybe not one of you, but one of the people who voted will be able to bring out one of their guests. We're going to go to New York City on the away game. You travel with the team. You'll fly, stay at the team hotel, eat with the team players and the meals. You might, if we can talk them into it, maybe give you a locker in the locker room. We're going to make it awesome. So, the winner of the trip to New York.
Did I get it?
James Fricano. James, if you're here, raise your hand.
He'll never know.
You'll never know. James is not here. But James is the lucky winner. So, unfortunately, that's how it sticks. That's how it sticks. So, thank you all for coming out tonight. We hope you guys have fun. Give it back to Eric. Probably going to tell us more stories.
I don't tell that many stories. It's not that crazy. But all right, listen. I think we're all kind of waiting for this. So here we go. Of course, Jakunica is our owner, and I'm going to be honest. I've dealt with a lot of people in my life in this business, and it is a business. And I just got to say, I love the way this man thinks. I love the way he works, and he just doesn't. You put a word there, around. And I like that. And that's the part that you need to know as fans of this club, is that this is a club that's going in the right direction. We're going to find out what the name is in like 20 seconds.
After the break.
I'm going to let the boss do it. The second craziest man in the world who hired me. Boris, why don't you come up?
Hey everybody. Alright, so what Eric didn't tell you is that he got a little offended by Andy when he said that he heard that story 7 times. Comes over to me and he says, "Have you heard that story before?" Of course, I heard it before. That was the 3rd time I've heard it, actually. I lied to him. I said 6 times, but it was only the 3rd time. But no, he's a great, great storyteller. If you guys want to stick around, the stories get really good at around 1 or 2 a.m. But no, this has been great. This is a great turnout. Thank you everybody for coming. It's been an exciting contest. From my point of view, everybody's asking me in the office, they're like, "Who are you going to vote for? Who are you going to vote for? You have to vote." And my answer was that I'm not going to vote. And the reason I'm not going to vote is because I love both the Chiefs and that's right. But no, the real reason is because I love the Chiefs and I love the Silverbacks. The Chiefs for me, I grew up in Atlanta, and the Chiefs were the team that made me passionate about soccer and about especially professional soccer. It had a huge impact on my life. I grew up about 300 yards from where the Chiefs used to practice down at Emory. I got to know some of the Chiefs as a kid. Branko Radovic, that played on the Yugoslavian national team, that played for the Atlanta Chiefs, would come over for dinner. My family's originally from Yugoslavia, so that was the connection there. He would come to my games, give me pointers. That really helped. And this was at a time when there wasn't a lot of people around that knew the game of soccer. So having somebody of that ability to be able to give you pointers was really special. And so anyway, the Chiefs, I'd go to the games. I was talking to Graham Tutt. Graham Tutt's here, the Chiefs goalkeeper. I remember. I was talking to him about a Chiefs mug. Excellent. Did you have that made this week?
First time out in 31 years.
The first time out in 31 years? I bet that's heard a lot of stories.
It's seen a lot of stories. Never had a drink in it.
Never had a drink in it? Now I forgot what I was going to say. What was I telling you? What was the story? Now we'll get to the winner. But anyway, I did actually forget what I was going to say that I told Graham. But no, the Chiefs were very, very special to me. After the Chiefs folded, I got to know some of the players, Adrian Brooks and Mark McCain, Mike Balsam, that started the Soccer Academy Indoor Place. It was the first indoor center in Atlanta. Graham Tutt started, I guess, Canterbury Park. Was it Canterbury Club back then, or which is now United Quest? Well, not NASA now. So that was Graham's doing. He was the original guy that did that. And back in the day when the Chiefs got started, there was no soccer. There was no soccer anywhere. So these guys had to go out, and they helped form Georgia State Soccer Association and get parents to volunteer to coach. And that's where soccer really started. And it started all with the NASL and it started with the Chiefs. So to me, that's very special. But at the same time, I've been doing the Silverbacks now since 2000 for 12 years. And so, the Silverbacks are also very, very dear to my heart. So it's very hard, to pick one. And so I didn't get to pick one. It was good. But you guys did. And,
You ready?
so, no, not yet.
Are you telling stories now?
No stories? You want to know the one? All right, say it. How many minutes? Now we'll unveil. We'll unveil. So, before we unveil, let me tell you one thing on the vote. The vote was actually interesting in the sense that the winner that we're going to unveil won it, but did not win it by over 50%. So there was
Hurry up, I don't even know.
runoff. Maybe. Anyway, the winner is So yeah, Socrates lives. We'll throw an FC on the end of this. All right, so see a big question mark right here. The question mark is, what's the logo going to look like? That's the next one. And then after that, it's like, who's going to be on the team? That's the one after that. But no, seriously, we're going to do a logo contest. This logo's been around since 1998. It's after Willie B, the silverback gorilla, the famous silverback gorilla back then at the zoo. And so we're going to do a contest for the logo and want to get all you guys involved. I have only one request, and the request is no bumblebee logos, okay? Like the shirts. The shirts came back with bumblebees. No. Too many Georgia Tech fans in the Well, I mean, it's kind of weird. You got Georgia Tech that's yellow, so you got the Georgia Tech shirt with the Georgia colors. I mean, that's like really weird, you know? But anyway, no, it's a good shirt. So, I will end this, I guess. Thank you very much for coming.
All right, we'll let the drinking begin. Let's go. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Now we know what our name is. We'll address the future. But enjoy the evening again. Thank you from all of us for being here tonight. Some of the guys are here, so enjoy.
Why is what? I don't know how many days are in February, but you're going to be here before the 20th. Can't tell them March 1st, man. You're going to show up. Just bring the bagels. Just bring bagels. Bring bagels for those shoes. I'll bring bagels for 2 weeks. Those shoes, you got to bring bagels.